Hi, Larry Gaines, PowerCycleTrading.com. I wanted to do this follow-up video to follow up on the one I did for kind of Monday night. So I sent out a video Monday night on seasonality and how it can really help you to plan your trade. So let's take a look here again on seasonal trends. So these are seasonal trend patterns for the Nasdaq 100. I'm going to show you that for the S&P 500 and also for the Russell 2000. So very strong trend from the early July up and then peaks out, tends to kind of stall out the week of the July 20th, which we're currently in. So this is also monthly option expiration. Then it tends to trend either down to sideways or down even, a lot more severe to the downside potentially. So sideways to down, so that's the Nasdaq, which tends to be the strongest. And then we've got the S&P 500, which does the same. It tends to peak out in this week of the July 20th period, monthly option expiration, and then trends sideways to down. So this is data, seasonal statistics going back 5 years, 15, and 30 years. So you can see here again, stalls sideways to down. And then the Russell peaks out first, and it tends to trend a lot harder to the downside. So this kind of seasonality trends, data going back 15 to 30 years, can really help you with your trading plan. So let's take a look now at the broad markets and see if they actually are starting to stall. So here's the Nasdaq 100 NDX, the index. And you can see it, we made a new high up here to about close to 8,000, not quite there. Now we're getting a reversal here with momentum. See that arrow? So we're starting to have momentum start to falter. So this is a daily time frame. Here's a 4-hour time frame, negative momentum there. And then I like to look at the lower time frame as well, the hourly, so negative momentum here. So we have potential for more downside here, potentially over NDX. Now let's take a look at SPX. So you can see SPX now starting to fade. Made contract highs, now it's starting to stall. Again, negative momentum. This is how we tell direction. And you look at the hourly time frame here, negative momentum cycle 1 and 2. All right, so now let's take a look at the Russell, which stalled early. So then the Russell is the one that stalls out the soonest, and it's already been diverging. So it was down 0.7% today, and you can see it's starting to pop and break through the 21 period moving average here. Momentum cycle 1 and 2 are down, and the 4-hour, this is what we call a volatility squeeze. So we set up to take advantage of the seasonality trend, we set up on Monday a bear call credit spread on the RUT, just to take advantage of that seasonal tendency for the markets to either stall, turn sideways, or go down. So we sold the 1600, 1605 bear call credit spread, and I'll show you that. And that's kind of the trade strategies that you can utilize when you have this kind of seasonality data. So let's take a look at the spread setup. So on Monday this week, we sold the 2 August series 1600, 1605 bear call credit spread. So the reason we chose that series is because we could sell a 20 delta, which gave us basically an 80% probability of price being below 1600 over the next X number of days until we get into that August 2 series, or to expiration to August the 3rd. So we did that, brought in $100 credit, so we've got credit of 100. The risk is the difference in the spread width of $5, so 400 at risk. So this is a high probability trade because there's about theoretically an 80% probability that this price should close below 1600. And then today, with the market coming off, closing down at 15.50, this was up $50 to $55 on that spread. So you can see the credit went from $1 down to, actually went lower than that today, down to 50, but currently 55. So if this moves down to like 30 cents, we'll buy that back in. That's 70% of our credit received, and that's just a really great way to utilize the seasonality data going forward. Now, if we start having a bigger move down, we're going to look here. We start breaking this 21. Then we could start looking at maybe some IWM Russell put debit spreads. Okay, I hope this helps, and I'll talk to you on my next video update.